Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media, and we got a lot to get through. I've kind of done Miz dirty here. I didn't even notice. I've kind of paused this video at a moment where he really does look like Shrek, but I was just watching this video just as a refresh of what he actually says. And basically the bottom line is this. He is basically offering to replace Drew McIntyre. If Drew cannot make it to SummerSlam, then The Miz is offering to take his spot, and he's kind of painting a picture as to why it makes sense. He's like, don't forget who was the person that brought Logan in. Like, I saw Logan's potential and he has exceeded that, and I think we haven't even scratched the surface with Logan. So he's really putting him over, and he's really trying to find a way of getting himself into this story. But word on the street is they expect Drew to be back. I think The Miz knows that anyway. But listen, he's shooting his shot. Yeah, he's not happy just sitting on the sidelines. He wants to be a part of SummerSlam, obviously not on the card at the moment. So, you know, he's giving it a go, and I respect that. So The Miz putting this out earlier today. Right, TV ratings, obviously Hogan effect. So this is massively up from where we usually are, like 200,000 up. So it's gone to 1.7. And I think a lot of people were tuning in because of the Hogan news, wanted to see kind of what WWE were going to do to honor him. And so 1.7, very, very good. TC from WrestleVotes said there's going to be 6 hours pre-show content before SummerSlam, so 3 hours on Saturday, 3 hours on Sunday, and obviously that's like an extra hour of countdown show. We don't normally get that. It's normally just 2 hours each day. Well, to be honest, we don't normally do 2 days of SummerSlam, but when it comes to WrestleMania and all the other shows, it's normally 2 hours before it starts. So we're actually increasing to 3, and we're doing that on both days. So 6 hours of pre-show content this weekend. Obviously, we're going to be live, and we'll start even before that. So we'll probably start an hour before, maybe 2 hours before, I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll start before, and come and join us, come and share your thoughts. It should be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to this weekend. Right, Armando, thank you. So we Want Melo currently trending. Or was trending. 6 hours ago, it was in the top 5. When we looked at it during our watch along, it was number 3. And honestly, this came out of nowhere. Really came out of nowhere. I mean, we did have a quick little look into it. I think someone said we want Melo, and Carmelo responded with like some praying hands. That seems to have grabbed attention, and that seems to have been the spark that kind of lit the fuse. And then it was just kind of bobbing around throughout the start of Raw. So I think it's kind of fallen away now, but a little we want Melo movement. And you can see here, look, 6 hours ago, Carmelo Hayes said, if this works, lol. Imagine this actually works and it gets me onto TV. So there we go. So even Carmelo speaking out about that. So very good. Right, let's go to Wyatt's, shall we? Because this was obviously a big, big talking point. So this came through at the start of our watch along. This you can see as an image, and it looks very much like a living room. Of course, you can just sort of see a window, a couple of what maybe are posters. That looks to be a couch and a table in front. And so I kind of feel like I'm in a TV looking towards the living room, if that makes sense. And then, of course, we've got this up here as well, which I wondered if that was like a URL. Maybe it's something to do with YouTube or something along those lines. So wrestling fans since day one, thank you. Metal Mama seems to have worked this out. The Wyatt 6 cryptic message is base 64. When it gets decoded, it says the message will spread. Base 64 is a way of hiding messages in plain sight. The image shows a TV in a bedroom or a funhouse. I think I was getting living room vibes personally, but I suppose it could be a bedroom. SummerSlam, the world will see them on the big stage, yeah. Now, unfortunately, I've got 2 thoughts on this. One is exciting, one not so much, right? I am desperate and I have been desperate for them to have a fun house, right? I want them to do promos. I want them to be based somewhere. I want to know where this group are like kind of living. I want to know more about them. I want to know kind of their relationships. If you think about Bray and the Funhouse, you had all the puppets, and we saw Bray in the Funhouse, and Alexa would go to the Funhouse. We wondered where the Funhouse was. We wondered what was behind the door. We wondered about the pictures and some of the furnishings. And, you know, there was a lot to kind of dig into, and it really added to that world. And so I would love for this to be where they're going to do their promos. I am, as I said, desperate for there to be some sort of location for the Wyatt Six to kind of be able to cut their promos. I would love for it to be that, but Larry with a good shout says the new Wyatt Six tease might be a part of the Universal Resort Halloween Horror Nights haunted house. We know the Wyatt Six are rumored to be having a room for this horror nights thing, right? These are some of the other rooms and teases for Fallout, Friday the 13th, Terrifier, and maybe Wyatt Six. Honestly, it makes sense, doesn't it? It makes sense that they are hyping us up, and the reveal is going to be a glimpse of what the Halloween Horror Nights haunted house is going to look like, which I think is so disappointing if it's going to be that, because we're not talking character development. We're not talking a location where the group can kind of base themselves. We're just promoting Universal Orlando's Halloween Horror Nights thing, which I just think would be so disappointing. So this apparently was the video for Terrifier, right? And you can see it's a room. And so, yeah, we've not had the Wyatt Six video yet. What if the plan is that one is going to drop on the 29th? And what if, do you remember earlier we saw those cryptic clues? I think it was about few weeks ago, and we said there's another set coming, right, on the 29th. And so what if it's all leading to this? So haunted house announcement, Terrifier, that was on July 10th, and as we said, we still have not had the announcement for the Wyatt Six room yet. So Larry, thank you for that. Thank you for ruining that potentially, because I was getting excited about this being some real character development, and now I'm worried it's not going to be that at all. But, you know, let's wait and see, shall we? Right, okay, Michael Cole said he's going to be watching the New York Mets whilst calling Raw. He said, tonight during Raw, I'll have my phone on the desk and I'll have the game on and I'll keep glancing over. You'll see me sometimes pumping my fists when Soto hits a home run or something. So there we go. Michael Cole, a big fan of the Mets. And apparently he was watching the game during tonight's Raw episode, which is kind of crazy. Right, now, thank you. Yeah, no sign of, I heard people saying there was no New Day out there. I heard certainly no Roman. He was not in the front row. So I don't know where Roman was. I don't know where New Day were. I don't know where Triple H was. And actually, the playing of Triple H talking seemed to be a recording of what he had done on Friday. I don't know why that was the case. Did Triple H feel like he had already paid his tribute and so didn't want to go out there again? But it was just awkward. I don't know. A lot of people pointing out about CM Punk. We got a pitch coming up later on. I think even Jay was kind of laughing a little bit here. I don't know if it's something to do with Punk or I don't know what's going on. I don't know what conversations have been had there. Obviously, Eric Bischoff was there. That was Nick Hogan, which was Hulk Hogan's son. Bruce Pritchard, of course, who has worked backstage since the 80s and knew Hogan really, really well. That's basically Vince's right-hand man. Not believed to be caught up in any allegations or any wrongdoing. But he is just someone that kind of always ran around and did what Vince wanted, you know, in regards to like stories and getting people to do certain things. So he kind of works with Triple H now. So, yeah, you know, it was kind of a surprise to not see Roman, to not see... Well, I didn't even notice the New Day. I was told the New Day weren't out there. So Roman was like, that doesn't work for me, brother, says now. Yes, we got a new El Grande. So here, J Omega said, closer inspection, that's Pete Dunne. So the belief is that this is Pete Dunne. That's the lead in theory. Obviously, we don't know 100%. I've not seen any like tattoos being matched up or anything like that. Obviously, if we saw his knee, he has a tattoo on his knee, then we would know for certain. But you can kind of see from the mouth, it does look like Pete Dunne. I do agree. So I could believe that's Pete Dunne. Don't know how people are feeling about us having another El Grande, right? But it might lead to something good. It might lead to like a El Grande Americano tag team. And maybe that might be a better way forward for them. I don't know. I don't know what the future is looking like. Clearly, they've got an idea. There's something they're looking to do here by adding another one in as well. So let's see where it goes. Perhaps we could get to Survivor Series and have a whole team of 5 of them. Las Vegas, Matt said it was pretty noticeable that the New Day didn't come out for the 10-belt salute. Yeah, you can just see there that Alan said, no way is Jay laughing during this tribute. I don't think he's laughing, to be honest, about Hogan. I mean, in my mind, probably CM Punk has said, oh my God, I'm not looking forward to this. Not after some of the comments I've made in the past. And then, like, maybe he's just been thinking about that and it's kind of, you know, tickled him or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe, you know, he's just thinking of something else, but I don't know. I'm not bothered, to be honest. I'm not bothered. Some people might like deem it as disrespectful, but I don't look at that and think it's disrespectful. He might even be remembering some times where he may have met Hogan when he was young, mightn't he? I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what's going through his head in this moment, so it's probably best to not speculate. Now, thank you. Did Braun just smack Paul's ass? I did wonder this. Look, he does lean right, pop right there, and even even Paul seems to go kind of lean forward a little bit. I mean, to be honest, if Braun Breaker wants to do that to you, I think you just have to let it happen. I mean, I'm not sure I would be able to turn around and tell him, like, you can't do that, because he might spear me. So there we go. Paul taking that approach as well. Right. WWE said, hate to see your heart break. So there we go. Bayley, pretty glum about the fact she's also not on the SummerSlam cards. Las Vegas Matt said, do they? Because if they did, wouldn't they have found her a spot at SummerSlam? It's a good point. Right, some people thinking this was tribute to Michael Jackson. It absolutely could have been. I don't know kind of why. I don't know if there's an anniversary or... I don't know. I don't know what the thought process would be as to why we would be paying tribute to Michael Jackson right now. It just seems a bit random. But you can certainly see the similarities in the jacket, for example. So, yeah. Michael Jackson Thriller fit, said WrestleLamia. Larry, thank you. There, the Becky Stompers. I mean, they were pretty crazy, weren't they? I mean, not only have you got that soul there, but you've got this bit here as well. So it's kind of all of that. So, I mean, they are pretty crazy. I feel like that's something that Spice Girls would have been wearing in, like, 97. I'm sure I saw Baby Spice wearing something like this, going back nearly 30 years ago. Right, I love the way Rhea is with her fans, said Andrew.
There she is. There she is. She's been waiting for you. I remember you. This war isn't done.
There we go. So she said this war isn't over. I don't know what the history is. Or this war isn't done. I'm not sure what the history is, but that's clearly a fan that Rhea's met once or twice before. And she just took a moment there to say this war isn't done. So, yeah, as Andrew said, I love the way Rhea is with her fans. So, there we go. Talking to Rhea as well, people noticed that she had a flower kind of in her ring gear. Now, I didn't think much about this. I did notice it at the time, but my brain did not go that next step further. Edith says someone gave Rhea a rose. Might have been Jay. I mean, my brain did not go that far. My brain did not go to that level where it's like, did Jay give her that? I mean, it could have been a fan. Could have been a fan. Could have been that she just saw it around and wanted to kind of put a bit of colour on her ring gear or something. I don't know that this is leading to any kind of story, but it's interesting enough to include. Yeah. What if we see it again, for example? I might regret not including it then. So that's the reason I included it. Yeah, so here, Bri, I think that it should be in one of the folders. Bri Beller has come out and said she thinks the reason why WWE have not used her so far is because of Daniel Bryan being in AEW. And that was doing the rounds today. And Naomi has kind of 1 hour ago tweeted this out. Bri, I'll do the same way when I catch you. So there she is pulling on Nikki Bella's hair. And Bella Army, I don't want to hear your mouth either. So there we go. Naomi going off on Bri, throwing some shade to Nikki, going off on the Bella Army. So Naomi making friends left, right, and centre at the moment. Best shape of my life. He looked fantastic. During our watch along, I had praise for his physique. He looked brilliant. He said it's funny what dropping 220 pounds of dead weight can do. Of course, that being Austin Theory. There he is, having a good old sniff. Bronson Reed really snatched Roman Reigns' Jordan spikes off his feet. So there we go. He stole Roman Reigns' shoes. Brilliant end to what I thought was a very mediocre episode of Raw, but certainly nothing mediocre about the finish. And Bronson Reed stealing the shoes was the cherry on top, if you will. And actually, here he is. Look, those belong to me. Here's Bronson after, right? Still with Roman's shoe. He left. He didn't leave him in the ring. He left with them. I like how he said, I'll take your shoes next. Becky Lynch shows off the damage from the kendo shots from Lyra Valkyria. Oh, mate, look at that. I mean, that ain't healing up before the weekend, I don't think. She might be going in with a few marks still showing this weekend. I genuinely can't remember much from this match, but I just did the Raw review, and people were like, really enjoyed that 8-woman tag. And I was like, man, I'm going to have to watch it again because I don't remember anything from it. But as I was going through the kind of feed to compile and scene, I do remember this. This was a good moment where obviously EO doing her remote and Nikki joining in with it as well. So yeah, that was fun. That was good. And talking of good, this was good. If you beat me at SummerSlam, I'll say whatever you want. Right, this was good. I actually thought Carrion was excellent here. Sammy, of course, is excellent. We know that anyway. But yeah, brilliant. Obviously, we just don't get a chance to see Carrion as often as people would like. So I thought he was great here. And he basically said, if I win, I want you to admit that you was lying, right? And Sammy said, okay, but if I win, I want you to admit that all along you've been wrong. So I really like this because it means now that this match has got a bit of embarrassment attached to it. Like whoever wins is going to get something from the match, not just the victory, but the other person is going to be embarrassed. And I suppose it's one of those kind of shaven of the head type matches, you know, where you kind of get embarrassed after losing the match. They're kind of going to do that to a lesser extent, really. But I thought that was a good moment from this week's Raw. Corey Graves spoke about what we were talking about yesterday with the El Grande slip. So Corey Graves provides a follow-up on Chad Gable claiming that he competed in a singles match at SummerSlam. He said, I reached out to Master Gable and he told me that the sun was hot and he was on medication following his shoulder surgery and he just mixed up the dates. That's all. So he did say that he had his singles match at WrestleMania and that was a big moment for him and something he's really proud of. And of course, Chad did not have a singles match, but El Grande did. But thankfully, here we've got a wonderful journalist, Corey Graves, get into the heat of the matter and getting it resolved. Right, Vince McMahon was shown during the Hulk Hogan tribute, which I don't think is really anything that significant, but some might find it interesting. Of all the images of Hogan, I suppose they didn't need to include one that had Vince, but they did. So Vince was shown during that tribute. And there we go. So this is CM Punk and a lot of people saying about how he's just there so he doesn't get fined, how he really did not want to be standing on that entrance stage. He has made a few comments in the past, and so a lot of people were kind of focused on CM Punk. And yeah, I don't know what the situation was with Jay earlier. As we said, it's probably best to not speculate. Right, merch. I don't think there's loads in here. Yeah, just the CM Punk stuff. Obviously, he was wearing this shirt anyway. Really nice. It strikes me as like there's an album by Bad Brains, and it kind of gives me those vibes. I don't know that that's what they were going for, but that's certainly what I think of when I see that, a very iconic album. And then just that one, which is a bit random, pink with Punk on it, which is kind of fun actually, because it's a pink shirt but it says Punk. So there we go. That's some new CM Punk merch. WWE Unreal. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So in the new Unreal documentary trailer, and obviously Unreal drops later today, right? It's going to be really interesting on Netflix. Triple H explains the steps he took to implement John Cena's heel turn and who he had to have conversations with before it happened. So he says that he spoke to The Rock and he spoke to Cody, he spoke to Cena, he spoke to Travis Scott, he spoke to Nick Khan. I struggle with this whole clip and I wish I could show it you, but it's 2 minutes 50, right? And also it's Netflix content, right? So it'll probably get copyright striked. But honestly, the way this clip makes it look is it makes it, and I wonder if I can just show you the way it makes it look, right? So it shows the people that he's having conversations with, yeah? He speaks to all of those people, right? So he speaks to all of these people, and then so the way he makes it look, it's like, I spoke to these 4 first, and then I spoke to John. That's what he's saying. He's talking about how he kind of spoke to Nick Khan, spoke to Travis Scott, spoke to The Rock, spoke to Cody, and only after speaking to them, then he spoke to John about here, this is the idea. And none of this makes sense to me. None of what is laid out in this little clip here marries up with the stories that I've heard from different sources. So, for example, The Rock on Pat McAfee's show after WrestleMania, he said that Ari Emanuel called him. He was not going to be involved at Elimination Chamber. And Ari Emanuel called him. And Ari Emanuel, the head guy at TKO, basically said, we're struggling. Ticket sales are slow. We need a kind of big, kind of creative idea to shift some tickets and create some buzz. And that's why The Rock came up with the whole sell your soul situation. And also, it's been heavily reported and even mentioned by Cody himself, I think on one of his podcast episodes, that The Rock wanted Cody to turn heel. So my understanding is that Ari Emanuel called The Rock and said to The Rock, I need you to be at Elimination Chamber. He wasn't going to be there otherwise. So why is Triple H telling me he called The Rock? Why is he saying that he called The Rock? And why is he making out that he called all these people and then spoke to John Cena after speaking to all of these? There's a lot about this that I just cannot get to make sense. It doesn't marry up with what The Rock has told us. Because, you know, it doesn't marry up with the fact that apparently they wanted to turn Cody heel first, or that idea was floated. That's not even mentioned here. And I'm fairly confident that I have heard Triple H say that he spoke to John Cena and spoke to John Cena at the end of 2025 about turning heel. I don't believe for a second he would have spoken to Nick Khan, Travis Scott, Cody Rhodes, and all these people at the end of 2025. I just don't believe that. Plus, The Rock wasn't going to be at Elimination Chamber anyway. He was only kind of brought in because ticket sales were slow. So there's just so much about this that I just cannot get my head around. I obviously need to see more of it. And see if it kind of makes any more sense. But I got some real questions around this show in the sense of they're sort of saying that this is a glimpse behind the scenes, and I'm still not convinced what we're being shown is reality. I'm still not convinced that what we're being told is the truth. Do you remember the other day they showed us Speed going into the Royal Rumble, and they tried to pass that off as behind the scenes footage? But it wasn't, was it? I mean, that was actually shown during the Royal Rumble. And not only that, but that was obviously a very scripted moment. Speed was always going to be in the Royal Rumble, right? It was planned that way. But yet they showed a trailer where they, you know, this is WWE Unreal. See what's really going on behind the scenes. And then they show us clearly a scripted moment. So that raised eyebrows. People were like, I don't know that this show is quite going to be what I was expecting it to be. And now we've got this version of events that does not marry up with some things I've heard from Cody or some things I've heard from The Rock. And maybe it can work. Perhaps this does fit in. Perhaps there's a bending of the truth, or it's kind of misremembered, or someone's lying somewhere. But just none of this is stacking up at the moment. I got some big questions around how real is unreal. How real is unreal? Or are they kind of presenting a version of the truth that they would like to present? Yeah, we're not going to know until we actually watch the show. So I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm looking forward to giving you an update. I will look to get some videos out based on obviously these episodes that are coming to Netflix, and they drop on the 29th. It is the 29th at the time of recording this. So there we go. That was Unreal. Let's go over to SummerSlam. So SummerSlam, they're building the stage. I'm a little bit confused at some of the reactions to this. Some people are like, yes, we're getting a stage. And it's kind of like, yeah, weren't we always getting a stage? We get a stage when we go to Saudi Arabia. There was a stage at WrestleMania. I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought there would be a stage at MetLife Stadium. So, I mean, obviously we don't know what the stage is going to look like. I don't know how adventurous the stage is going to be. I'm not expecting anything that adventurous. I'm not expecting anything that special, to be honest. I mean, what I will say is it certainly seems to have some height to it, which is good. But yeah, I don't know. Is this just going to be a big screen? And is that what we're going to get? Not sure. Honestly, not sure. But yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I expected a stage in a stadium of this size. So here's some images of them kind of putting it together. So there we go. We might get a custom stage. So Roman Reigns SCN is hoping for something special, hoping for some sort of big custom stage. I just don't know about that. We've had this conversation on watch-alongs. We know that TKO are all about spending as little as possible and, you know, raising ticket prices and trying to get more sponsorship. They want to bring as much money in as they can and spend as little as they can. So I don't know. Is this going to be something special? I'm probably leaning towards no, but let's wait and see. Hopefully it is. Hopefully it is. So that was SummerSlam and a little glimpse as to kind of what's being put together. Let's go fun, shall we? See what we've got. I don't know what's going on here. I'm guessing that's Dominic's wife in a Penta mask. No one cares about kayfabe nowadays. Why are Dom and Penta going at it when they're supposed to be enemies? It is true. It's true. These two are meant to hate each other, but here they are smooching. Yeah. But I don't know. That's got to be... I hope that's his wife. I hope that's his wife, mate. So, Shaquem, thank you. Oh, that looks like all we've got, to be honest. Looks... Oh, my God. That's all you need. Dominic and Penta smooching. What else do you want? Jeez. Right, let's go other. See what we've got in here. The new Hulk Hogan LJN style figure is sold out. The pre-order for it was all allocated in 10 minutes. So at San Diego Comic-Con, they showed off these new LJN style figures, these rubber figures. And yeah, the Hulk Hogan one sold out in like 10 minutes. Hulkamania running wild, said Wrestling News. Right, this is really good. Really good. This is from Carrion. I'm going to play a little bit of it. I believe this is connected to his book, but it's basically Kevin Sullivan, wrestling legend Kevin Sullivan, leaving a message to Karrion Kross, just saying how special he is.
Kevin, this is Kevin Sullivan. I didn't text you because I wanted to talk to you. My friend, you have everything needed to be a huge star. You got the look. Your wife is a great asset to the package. Your work is spectacular. I don't know what's going on there. If you want to chat with me, please give me a call or text, whatever you want. But my friend, you are a talent that isn't come around very often. I don't know what their problem is, but if you want to chat, maybe we can get to the bottom of it.
But don't get down. So, I mean, it goes on for a little bit, but yeah, that's the vibe. I mean, that's the kind of thing that's just going to fuel and fan the flames online of people being right behind Carrion. And, you know, there's Kevin Sullivan saying, I just don't know what's going on. You've got everything, man. You've got everything. If you need to talk, we can try and work it out on the phone. So, and, you know, the fans, this will obviously keep the fans motivated and going and, like, we want Carrion and all of that. But he's on the SummerSlam cards. He's on the SummerSlam cards, and as we said, you know, he's been involved in a feud with Sammy. I mean, they're finally starting to do things with him. The concern is, of course, that at the moment his contract is up in August, and there is a concern that, like, WWE might not renew that contract. I keep saying this. I don't know how much of that is true. I don't know how much of that is a bit of a work. I don't know if he's like working with Triple H and this is something they're trying to build, trying to get that kind of organic movement going. I just don't know. I really don't know. What I do know is I've got a lot of time for Carrion. Definitely want him staying in WWE. And yeah, you know, I hope that match with Sammy goes really, really well. And I hope we hear news that he signed an extension. But obviously his book is coming out soon as well. I don't think, does it advertise? The Killer Part 2 is coming. So this, I think, is for the documentary. Because he did a documentary, The Killer. And this was around WrestleMania time. So I suppose it makes sense this one being around SummerSlam time. So yeah, he's got a book on the way and it seems like he's got another big kind of documentary in the works as well. There's Bri just talking about how, you know, Daniel being in AEW, she thinks is a barrier. She said, if people feel uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable, and that's okay. They have that right. Does it bum me out at times that I wish their feelings were different? Well, absolutely. But it doesn't make me angry, and it doesn't make me bitter. So, you know, she's thinking that that's the roadblock, her husband being with AEW. And as well as that, Cody Rhodes is going to be on Hot Ones. That's coming up Thursday, 11 a.m. So there we go. That should be good. So Gimpy, thank you. Right, let's go community, just see what we've got in there, and we'll wrap this up. So Larry, thank you. Larry finding out that what we looked at was a light switch. So there we go. It is. Hulk size your room with the WWF Hulk Hogan light switch cover. So there we go. All light switches need a cover. Of course they do. So there we go. I don't know what's up with his eyes, but there we go. It was a bad day for the Hulkster there. Lynette said, in this family, we support Dirty Dom. My husband has his shirt as well. So Lynette, very good. Got some Dirty Dom stands. And James, shout out to you. Ordered some new figures. Got Jade Cargill. And she's got long nails there, doesn't she? On that figure. I can see them here. So they've gone with long nails. Swappable hands, though, so you can take those off if you want to take those off. And New World Order, we were looking at that. It's been reduced. Not much, just a little bit. So it's a good set, though, that. Really, really cool. Really cool. So, James, thank you. Right, with that being said, I think that's about everything. We will be back later, of course. I mean, look, I don't know what today's going to look like because the Wyatts seem to be teasing something, which might be the reveal of their horror house, right? Then, of course, you've got WWE Unreal. I'm not sure when that drops. Genuinely don't know. So that's going to be, you know, obviously a big thing as well. We've got a member stream and we've got NXT. So, I mean, there's just so much that's coming up. So much that's happening today. It's a busy, busy day. And, of course, we'll have another Unseen for you as well. So let's get to thanks and let's get out of here. So, Sean, Armando, Elite Pro Wrestling Forum, Huddle Talk, Larry, CM Chunk, Real Wrestling Fan, Babs the Barbarian, Samantha, Shaq Diesel, Mark, Little Bit of a Fan, Wrestling's Biggest Fan, Big Bam, Sweet Chin Wrestling, Raymond, Kelly the Wise Lady, Claire Webb, He Who Smiles, Steve Silverback Walker, and Big Migs Gaming. Shout out to all of you, but thank you to everyone that supports this series, video series. And yeah, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.